Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another JJK Thursday. This was titled Tokyo Colony Part 4. And I'll say, what a banger episode, man. This was a banger episode. We got what happened, Megumi's side of what happened after him and Itadori split. Basically, we see Megumi and Reggie's negotiations fall through. And what happens is then we get a 3-on-1 situation. We get a fun chase sequence with Reggie and his lackeys chasing Megumi. Megumi brings out his the 10 Shadows technique. So we got to see a lot of like the Divine Dog. I can't remember the names of all of them, but the Owl one. He used Max Elephant a lot. I like Megumi's fighting style, actually. It's really fun to watch. On top of him being like a really good like battle IQ strategist type of sorcerer. But what I really loved is the wackiness and the creativeness of this episode. Especially, it started off with getting the explanation of Reggie's abilities, which was not what I was imagining, to be honest. I thought he was dressed in paper, but he's not. What he has on him are like hundreds and hundreds of receipts, because his curse technique is revealed to be this ability that he can pretty much summon anything from the receipt. So he can summon like vehicles, he can summon like just like different types of objects. I think he summoned a knife, a piano. If it's a part of the receipt and a part of a contract, he can manifest it back into reality, which is such a bizarre and strange ability. It did actually kind of remind me of like a JoJo's Bizarre Stan ability, but I was thinking, damn, that's super OP. We also see that he's able to renew contracts, for example, where a receipt for like a 3-night bed and bath stay at a relaxing hot springs, and he's able to use that ability to like replenish himself as if he had actually gone and rested for that long. Pretty much with that receipt, like instant rejuvenation. So I was thinking, damn, I was for some reason thought Reggie was maybe bluffing a little bit with how strong he was. He just seemed like that slimy kind of character, but turns out he's fairly strong. So him and Megumi are scrapping. Megumi's doing all he can to, keep up with the 3-on-1 assault. One of Reggie's lackeys is a dude who can like detach parts of his body. Like we see him detach an eyeball at first, and the eyeball turns into an explosion. So I don't know exactly how his technique works, but I know that he can detach, like he detached a tooth and threw it and it became a bomb. But he's able to like regenerate it afterwards. But he seems pretty strong. So one of the best parts of the episode is the comedian that we got to see a couple episodes back, Fumihiko Takaba, arrives to help Megumi after Megumi literally just straight up unalives this dude, like with a knife through the face. Megumi assassinates this dude, which you can't blame him, but it's just like, damn. It was just so matter of fact. And then Reggie was like, oh, dang, you killed him. He didn't even get to use his technique yet. So it becomes a 2-on-1 until Takaba steps in. And the way he steps in is the dude that throws bombs with parts of his body launches it at Megumi. Well, and before Megumi can like really react or do anything, Takaba jumps in front of this fireball, like posing and just eats this explosion to the face. And the reaction of the characters of Megumi, Reggie, and the other guy who I forget his name was priceless. It was absolutely priceless. Takaba is just like this very strange, sort of eccentric type of dude who actually seems pretty strong. At one point, he straight up drop kicks the explosion guy, and I was like, oh damn! And even Reggie was like, oh, he's pretty fast. Like this dude's strong. But we see Takaba just like, I can't even explain his type of humor or his type of comedy. At certain points, it did feel like he was just making fun of everybody and making fun of the situation. But the reason that he jumped in is that he couldn't bear to watch a 2-on-1 fight, because that's what cowards do. And then as soon as it becomes a 1-on-1 fight, he just leaves. and, so Takaba and Megumi the whole time is trying to figure out if he can trust him. I loved Megumi's reactions to anything Takaba said or did, because it's here's Megumi fighting for his life, fighting for his sister's life, fighting for Gojo, and then you have Takaba, who's just like straight up out of a comic book or something like that. His outfit looks ridiculous, but already I want to see more of this dude. So this episode was cool because it had some good laughs. But the action was a lot of fun too. Reggie's ability was super sick. He, at one point, to evade Megumi used Max Elephant's ability to like spit that like it's like tsunami of water, right? And Reggie uses a receipt that just summons the surfboard, and he's just surfing on Megumi's attack. Like anything Megumi threw at him, he's just like, well, I have a receipt for that. His ability is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's so broken. So, god dang. But the way that this episode ended, that was one of the hardest hitting cliffhangers that they've hit me with in a minute. What we have is Megumi is like, what should I do? He mentions this, I think, at least twice in the episode. Should I use my domain? But he starts talking about how his domain isn't a complete one. He, I believe, struggles with the idea of taking a imaginary construct and placing it in a like reality, something along the lines of that. He has a hard time visualizing his domain and how much space he needs to create an artificial area. So what he does, because he's Megumi, he uses his big brain and he's evading Reggie, finds a gymnasium. Well, he lures Reggie in, although Reggie had a trick up his sleeve. He summons these giant, I think they were like trucks. He summons like cars or something, throws them at Megumi. We get a dope freaking animated moment where Megumi dodges the truck, almost like Matrix style. And the way they like animated his face, that right there, it was very different looking, but very JJK. I liked it. I love how much emphasis and like they just make everything feel important, you know? But Megumi goes domain expansion, Chimera Shadow Garden. And then the episode cuts. That's the end. I was so pissed. I was like, no, bro. I've been waiting for Megumi to pop his domain expansion again for a while. The last time he popped it, go watch his I don't know if it was the dub or sub, but he's like losing his mind, like laughing maniacally. Megumi has layers, man. He has layers. Okay? Like an onion. But honestly, overall, I really did enjoy this episode. It was just a lot of fun. It didn't do a ton to like progress the plot forward all like that much. Like we didn't get a game-changing revelational piece of information. We didn't get that in this episode, but I feel like we've had a couple of those. So it was nice to have a pretty fast-paced, upbeat, like comedy action episode. It was cool, man, with some absurd abilities. Speaking of, I wonder what Takaba's ability is. Because he ate that explosion and then he seemingly healed himself through reverse curse technique. So I wonder how Takaba's ability works. Very interesting. It was also funny seeing Reggie be like, "What? You're a sorcerer of that level, Megumi?" Because he couldn't believe that he just popped domain expansion, albeit an incomplete one. And so he's probably gonna mess Reggie up in the next episode. But from my understanding, Megumi's actually like grade 2 currently in the anime, a grade 2 level sorcerer, and domain expansion. That technique is typically something that a grade 1 or typically, I believe, a special grade sorcerer would be able to use. That's why Reggie is so intimidated at Megumi popping this right now. So, I mean, right now, momentum is on Megumi's side. I am looking forward to the next episode, looking forward to next week. This was just a fun episode. I'd probably rate it like, honestly, I'd rate this like an 8.5 out of 10. Fun fact, I looked it up on IMDb, and overall from 2020 up until now, JJK Worldwide has a rating of 8.5 out of 10. It's becoming that anime, guys. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Is there anything I left out? Tried to keep this one short and sweet for you guys, so take care.